Welcome back to our coverage of Day 2 here at the North American LCS Spring Split. People in the crowd are getting active out there. It's like an exercise.
Oh, yeah.
People are dancing around, getting excited. Kicking off our action today, we have Curse versus XDG, two teams that are trying to build on the momentum we saw in their games yesterday.
Yeah, so XDG did have a really solid game against Evil Geniuses, with the solo lanes starting out very strong. But XDG did make some mistakes in their second game versus Cloud9 that they're going to have to clean up.
And there is, you can historically look at the statistics here. It's the fact that XDG has 5 out of the 8 games these teams have faced. So they have the head-to-head matchup in their favor.
They do. And Voyboy is also looking really good in that mid lane.
Yeah.
He played Yasuo yesterday. Even though they weren't able to coordinate the knockups with his ultimate that well, he still was able to get to the back line and assassinate carries.
Absolutely. Coming into this next match, both teams all riding high after a successful opening day and are looking to capitalize on their early momentum.
Our strategy mostly against Curse, like last split, was just to play standard. Curse's strength is mostly from top lane and mid lane. I think their weakness is bot lane, and I think we can take advantage of that.
With their new roster swap, Smithy to AD carry and Zuna to the jungle, I think they are a little bit weaker at the moment. We'll have an advantage just because of the fact that they swapped the lanes.
When they fight, they like to group, so like they're always together. So like I think that's probably their biggest strength, is that they love to fight together. So when they do team fight, it's pretty strong.
I think they're in a really weak spot right now, so I think we can take advantage of it.
Each team having the other's number in there in certain aspects and situations. XDG thinks it's really going to be the fighting phase for Curse to come out here.
They both said that the other team's bottom lane was the weak point, so I feel like there's going to be a lot of jungle pressure down there too.
Just maybe. Let's check out the starting lineups, get right to that. On the blue side, it is Curse. Quaz in the top lane, Dominate in the jungle, Voyboy in mid lane, Cop at AD carry, and Zken on support.
And on the red side, it's XDG with Benny up top. Zuna in the jungle now. Mandatory Cloud is mid, Smithy is moved to AD carry, and Bloodwater is supporting.
And in today's featured matchup, we've got a rumble in the jungle. It'll be I Will Dominate versus Zuna.
Like we said before, Zuna had a great game as Olaf versus EG, but his Elise in the second game, not nearly as impressive. Right. So, you know, he may have some miscommunication issues with Mandatory Cloud with a couple missed ganks, but he admitted himself in the interview that his synergy is really strong with Benny in the top lane because, you know, they played it together on CLG Black. We'll have to see if he can actually take advantage of that instead.
And absolutely. Meanwhile, Dominate played a pivotal role in turning the tide against Coast. I think everybody remembers the Baron steal.
That was a miraculous Baron steal. There was literally like less than 1 second for him to flash in between the Varus ulti and the Annie flashing in for a stun, and he made it happen. Just very impressive.
There were some crazy steals yesterday. Can't forget Sneaky's built over Peacemaker, Dragon Take. Some crazy stuff still to come and to happen today. Yesterday we saw a huge variety of champions being picked up, almost more than what was in the full Super Week last time, just in our first day, but it wasn't the same amount.
And it wasn't just that XDG picked up the Warwick, you know, oh, Darian's running Warwick, we can probably run it too, but they also had him with the teleport. He went for the level 6 teleport gank on mid, and they had Gragas to set it up. So it was a great plan. The only thing is that Voyboy was on Yasuo, who is pretty much the only champion that can stop that Gragas ultimate, setting up the kill, and he was able to foil their plan.
That's amazing how many opportunities it can create, and you saw Voyboy just doing it and kind of making a few ones that triggered that light bulb in your brain. Into the picks and bans, we do see...
It was high.
High, yes.
Voyboy's going to do it this game.
ManCloud getting banned out, the focus there. Kha'Zix seeing the ban list all throughout this. Really the pick focus for the early game, trying to get those few first kills are really held strong right now.
Yeah, I like the combo here. Riven and Kha'Zix, both very similar roles. Yeah. Very heavy AD, melee carries, trying to take those away from Curse, because that's something that Voyboy really does like to play.
XDG waiting out on the last one. They're actually going to ban out Elise, which is interesting because we didn't see Zuna doing too well on Elise yesterday. And they have banned the Olaf, so they're actually just trying to take everything from him, make it even less comfortable.
Actually, yeah, coming into this, I thought XDG were going to be the ones to ban Elise because Dominate is such a good Elise player. And as he showed, you know, he can control the Baron over there with that steal, but they're the ones that end up banning it. They also comboed that with the Olaf ban. So basically what they're doing is just targeting Zuna. You're fresh to the jungle. We're going to ban the 2 champions that you played already. Show us what else you've got.
Well, they're taking aggressive bottom lane, right? You even said it. Both teams were like, they have a weak bottom lane, so why focus it in the picks and bans? Go after it while we're in the game. And he's being picked out. Looks like ManCloud may be the one picking up Yasuo here. We haven't really seen him in the top lane.
All right, so this time around, they are going to have the Yasuo wind walls to be able to interrupt any sort of ranged abilities. But the big thing about this first 2 picks here is that they combo Yasuo with pretty much the best setup for his ultimate there is in the game. Vi can easily set up Yasuo for pretty much guaranteed kills. If she assault and battery onto a squishy target, then he's going to guarantee he can use his ultimate from anywhere. You know how long the range on Yasuo's ultimate is? It's 1,300 units. It's almost as long as a Nidalee Spear. So he can come out.
Good comparison.
If he's not even near you, he can jump to you, and that's going to be very difficult to deal with.
Yeah. And if he can't follow, you're getting bumped aside, displaced by the hit from everybody else before that. So it really works great in both ways. Something that Curse may have been toying with within their practices. Many people fear the Pantheon jungle due to its early pressure at ganks. We'll see what they really come up with this. Is it something that you comp around?
So whenever we see Curse, I always get super excited for the junglers that they're going to pick because St. Vicious likes to use a lot of these off-meta junglers. And even though Saint's not on the team anymore, still acting sort of as the coach, he's giving a lot of advice. We saw Dominate use Wukong to great effect, which is something that Saint really liked. And then the Pantheon as well. Since the small change, he can now use his W on jungle camps to get that extra shield. Pretty much just that was the only change that people needed to start using him in the jungle again. So that could very well be a jungle Pantheon, but we'll leave the door open for a solo lane as well. We don't want to look silly here.
A lot of the mids have been left up. We do have Yasuo, which is probably going to Man Cloud as I say that. But like you said, that Pantheon could go mid. So the mind games are somewhat starting here. Champion Select has also not been lost by anybody yet. They're each getting pretty good picks on both sides.
With the second 2 picks of Leona plus Shyvana, this is a very, very melee-heavy team, but it's a scary, scary melee-heavy team. TSM ran one of these teams very effectively, and the AD carry that they picked with that team was Sivir, so that they could boost all of these melees up. This combo, you don't actually need Sivir to boost them up because, like I said before, Vi has such long-range engage that she can guarantee a target that will be displaced for Yasuo, who can teleport in from 1,300 range. And Leona has such long-range initiation. They can easily combo that. Wow. Exciting last 2 picks here.
And I thought they were going to have like a heavy AD team. Never mind.
They're looking for some early kills here. A Pantheon jungle is really scary. Usually, Akali has to play very safe. She's kind of like a little, I think Voyboy used the term tadpole until she hits level 6. It's like a little tadpole, has to grow up until she can transform. Once she gets her ultimate, you know, you recall to base, get a couple charges up on it, and then you start looking for kills. But with a Pantheon jungle, kill potential is always there. So even an Akali lane, you have to kind of think twice.
Absolutely crazy. Haven't seen Karthus, and I'm not even going to make a prediction on that. It's going to say a long, long time. Very squishy. How is that going to work within this meta?
Well, first of all, it makes me think that they're going to switch. Voyboy's going to be on Akali, and he could either go top or mid. And Quas is also a very versatile player, so he could take that Karthus and go top or mid. But in this meta, you're right. We haven't seen Karthus very much because it's much harder for him to deal with these comps like the Yasuo plus Vi. They can just easily 100% him. So he's going to probably be playing a bit safer further back and just trying to CS from afar with his late waste until he does start getting the ability power for his ultimate. In the early game, like, he's really just looking to CS and add the global damage of his ultimate to turn around fights elsewhere on the map. So if you're XDG, you look to go to the source of that global, you kill the Karthus, and get out.
So if they're going to match it up that way, do they want to get the 2v1 in and kind of keep Dominate going either in the 3-split push or trying to guard the one lane that's going to fall?
Keep them busy? It just keeps on getting more and more crazy because a Karthus with teleport is even more vulnerable to being attacked from a Vi gank here. So Quas is going to have to play really well on this Karthus, I think, to avoid getting killed over and over again. And I'm very interested to see where they put him because you bring up the 2 versus 1 point. Karthus is actually extremely strong into a 2 versus 1 situation. You know, last season, Reginald, who's a huge proponent of Karthus, would always say that you never want to fight Karthus in a 2 versus 1 because he's so good at it. Thing is, he is vulnerable to those tower dives. And like we said, he's sticking with that teleport summoner, so, you know, no extra defense there. All
right, we'll get back into looking at the strats. Right now, let's check out who you guys think is going to win our first match of the day here on day 2. According to LOLesports.com, 61% of you think Curse is going to come out on top.
Pretty good percentage there. I mean, they've got some interesting things that they're working with, and we've seen a lot of these new and interesting strategies work out so far. So pretty good guess.
And as I was saying in Champion Select, and nobody did quite lose it, but we don't know what to expect really from Curse now. That's a composition we haven't seen work in a lot of time. It's kind of undefined right now, and they have really anything they want to do. A lot of teams this week are playing things you wouldn't normally see. It's almost like they're keeping everything hidden.
I mean, really the surprising thing is that they took so many champions that are this frail early game. Like, Pantheon is an amazing ganker, but he does not have that many life bars here. Same with the solo laner. So all of their champions are fairly frail in the early game, and we'll have to see if they can outplay XDG and come out with some miraculous kills. Probably started off with that Pantheon jungle that we talked about so much.
Boy, ready to take pain in the mid lane. The 5 cloth pot, or 5 pot and cloth armor, I should say, as he starts off there. Is he looking for help, or are they going to leave him alone?
So that's the old tadpole start that he was talking about. A whole bunch of consumables so that he can survive up to level 6.
Right.
And especially since Yasuo obviously is attack damage, it's just a really good start right there. You get the extra armor and plenty of regen. So he'll just be waiting.
Wind wall the Akali ultimate. I'm just kidding.
It'd be funny if champions that were dashers just kind of face planted into the wall. That'd be good. Like LeBlanc just tries to W over, face plant into your wind wall. But no.
And then she can't, or she made it over and you said it and she can't get back. Can't teleport back.
So this is, again, we've been over this before yesterday, but the classic start nowadays is everybody just lines up around the river and then drops all of their trinket wards around this 130 to 140 mark. Since they are trinket wards, though, you know, it's only 1 minute, and they disappear at the 230 and 240 mark, which is perfect timing for the double buff ganks. So the first ganks there from Pantheon going to be a little bit more scary than Vi, but a Vi with Flash has the potential to easily get first blood as well.
This isn't really anything we saw of yesterday. Teams were a lot safer. I think we saw this in one of our games, 1 or 2, where the blue buffs were traded here, but it is going to be a 2v1. And something we didn't see very much of yesterday either, except for Cloud9 or TSM.
I really like this adaptation from XDG. Even though it's not a huge advantage for them, what happened in their loss versus Cloud9 was Cloud9 invaded Zuna's jungle. Benny now, you know, he's not a jungler, but he is getting pushed off of that. He really wants that wolf. So does Zekken. Okay, let's watch the fight with the big wolf.
Zekken.
Combo it.
He is just being so calm right now. He finally uses the stun. He could have had Benny there for a quick tick, but he is allowed to get that. It looks like they're going to be able to steal this away for Dominate. Not too big of a problem there, but leave Benny without the experience. He wants to get back to that lane.
Everybody here jungling. Quas is able to finish off the raves. Okay, so after all this unorthodox jungling from multiple members that do not have Smite, I still want to go back to that point how Cloud9 invaded Zuna's jungle. Since Zuna's a new jungler, like one of the hardest things to deal with, especially as a new jungler, is getting invaded. And how will you come back for that? That's kind of why, you know, he had a lackluster Elise game. This time around, they made the adaptation that they were not going to be starting off on the wrong foot, and he used his duo lane switch up top to go get the blue buff and make sure that he had a good start.
Looking at the comp for Curse, it's been a while since we've seen pretty much map comp. You can go fully across the map. You got the Karthus ulti, global AoEs. You got a semi one by Dominate, so they can get to really any lane they want. 6 is going to be huge for them.
6 is going to be amazing for this team, but we should also point out how Quas is going to take a while to get to 6 because he did not go to lane at all. Usually we see the top laners doing the first jungle camp or maybe 2 jungle camps, then going to lane to try and soak up experience. Right. He was so scared of going to that lane because Karthus is frail, like we talked about, and because Zuna showed up early, he only farmed those jungle minions, unless I missed something.
So Zuna's going to the top lane. This means that Dominate's actually helping to stop that. He is not going to go bottom, so they're not going to get the same damage on the turrets coming from Curse's side. XDG's picking up that gold right now. This is really going to play in their favor.
First turret was easily taken by them, and Shyvana has a much easier time of defending because she doesn't have to be so worried about the tower dive that, you know, Benny's tower is still at about 33%, you know, so he's doing a pretty good job here, and it's up to Quas to hold on to the second one because we've seen already 2 towers down in a lane is such a huge detriment. Wow, Zuna steals away the wolf with a smite.
he hasn't even gone back yet. Zuna, or I'm sorry, Dominate has, buying a quick set of boots there to be mobile around the jungle. Not really putting them to use just yet, but hasn't had the time. See ManCloud and Akali, or I should say Voyboy in mid lane, they're not really going too hard at each other right now. They know there's not going to be a kill just yet.
That point that you just talked about, though, Pantheon getting early boots is pretty good because not only did XDG get Zuna a good start by using this 2-versus-1 switch to go invade the blue, but they also sort of took away some of the threat of this early Pantheon jungle. Because early Pantheon jungle is all about kills and surprising a lane, but if you 2-versus-1 switch, then those ganks are not effective. So the only target he has left is mid.
Gets down the Shroud. It looks like they will be get the Aegis onto him. ManCloud taking big damage. The Ignite is on. Can he get the hit? Oh, the Flow Shield, and he gets the Spear to finalize the kill.
That's why the ganks are so scary, but you can see that it did take him a lot longer to get to his first gank, because of that 2-versus-1 switch, and he had to spend a little bit of time in bottom. So well played by Dominate, though, is able to get the first blood, which you're really looking for when you run that jungle Pantheon.
That's also going to help Akali grow in the tadpole area just a little bit quicker, which is good for Voyboy. We know he likes to fight. He likes to fight and be aggressive, so that only fits in his alley that much
level
more.
6.
Now level 6 is going to help, and he'll
He's
probably
grown
be
into
in
a
the
frog,
face
Riff.
of Man. He's almost to full size. Quaz getting poked out at the turret. He's finally able to get here, but he's 4, and so is Benny. So he's not doing too bad as we look across the map.
Still, like we said, trying to CS from afar with the layways, has to worry about the dives, and the turrets are finally answered as well. Just a little bit of extra visitation there. So even though it took Curse a while to answer with the turret, they're not behind in gold because of that first blood, and because the CS is actually going fairly well for them.
And they're actually trying to freeze this lane pretty hard up top, too. They don't want Quaz hitting 6 anytime soon, so they're going to take all the time that they want. Voyboy is slowly farming, and it really looks like, besides, as you say, Dominate going for ganks, they really are just waiting for 6. They have to.
Well, Voyboy, you know, with the Akali, yes, you hit 6, but you can't immediately go aggressive because her ult does need to charge up to get stacks to use. Now that he's been sitting around 6 for a while, he does have those 3 stacks of his ult, and they can look for the kill because... or that's a good thing because the dragon fights are starting to become an option now.
Right.
And with the Karthus ultimate becoming available very soon, Curse actually has a pretty good chance of countering that first dragon, even though XDG, with this beefy melee lineup, likes to fight around those objectives.
And it actually played into Zuna being there a little bit. You know, the charges that Voyboy was waiting for, he was thinking Zuna was going to go right into a level 5 ManCloud, but played it very passive. Unlike Voyboy, but very smart in the same. 10,200 to 9,600 right now. We're only approaching the 8th minute of the game, but we have had first blood, and they were able to take down ManCloud in the mid lane. So Dominate is working that Pantheon in this early game quite well, even though Zuna was kind of on his back, trying to counter, trying to get in his jungle.
Talked about Karthus level 6 peak coming very soon, but we also need to remember that Pantheon level 6 is coming extremely soon too, and he also has the global, so they can actually pull in 2 globals to the bottom lane as soon as he does hit it, which he just got.
It'll be a little scary. See if they can, we'll have to watch the HP bars, I should say, of X-Smithy, or even anybody on the map. They'll leave it, bait it out, and just let Quaz pick up that kill, and the team will start to get rolling. Karthus press R. It's been a while.
I think that's why Zuna is sort of staying around the bottom side of the map. Because they're aware of the double globals, there's definitely potential for a Curse gank down there. Because Annie's so good at setting up ganks, she can hold people in place under the man drop and keep them there for Dominate to fall right on top of their faces. We already saw the combo between Malphite and Pantheon in the Challenger, and I mean in the EU LCS. And it worked out really well. Annie can actually set up almost as well as Malphite can.
And we do see Dominate looking to set up for that positioning that we were just talking about. There's the man drop. Grand Skyfall on the backside. Smithy's going to get hit. The flash is there. There's the ace to the hole. And it's going to be enough. Dominate picks up a second kill with the help of his team.
All right. They did go for the double globals that we spent time setting up there. And Zuna, he was thinking the same thing, but he got kind of bored of waiting around in the bottom lane and decided to bail.
Unfortunate for Quaz. Oh my gosh, Voyboy going in on ManCloud. That is a scenario of a longtime champion being played new. There's the assault and battery coming in. The Vault Breaker can still pop him up, but wow, Voyboy is just getting fed right now, and they are giving him the kills on a silver platter.
This is a really, really Great turn of events for Voyboy and terrible for XDG. Getting Akali ahead early and especially getting her double buffs on top of that first kill means that he can snowball out of control right now. You can see he's going to be going for that Hextech Gunblade build. As soon as he finishes that, he also has a slow to his kit, and every single target on the map has to worry about him coming in to assassinate them.
I was going to say it was unfortunate for Quaz because he threw down the Requiem, but it went off too late, so he didn't even get an assist on the bottom lane kill. But then Voyboy went and did that, so they are more than healthy enough to carry Quaz if he's not doing too much on that top lane. And right now, he's just going to soak up the farm, backing, and we'll see what he tries to provide. He's really just going to kind of be a chaos tank when it comes to it. Yeah,
I mean, he did a great job. He was sort of jungling for the first part of the match, but that jungle CS got him up and ahead of Benny even, so it's working out really well for them. And they, like we said, assassin teams like this, snowballing is what they have to do.
Yeah.
4-0 start is going all according to plan here for Curse.
We'll see if XDG can do what it takes to hold off Curse right now. With Globals now coming back in, or at least Pantheon coming back in, the quasi-global, where do you start to ward? Because that's even been cut off coming into this patch, right? So it's a little bit harder to even ward for a Nocturne, ward for a Pantheon.
Yeah, it's exactly the same thing. That's a good point. They would have to get really deep to get wards down. So it's not really an option for them right now since they are behind. And they have to play a lot more safe.
Yeah.
We might, actually, we won't see it. I keep on talking about the teams that are behind have the option of picking up those orb trinkets. Oh god, this bush gank is going to work.
Oh, right on his Zekan. He still has the stun up. He may be able to give Kopp enough time to get out of this one. Kopp did not choose to get himself away because Dominate's going to come in on the backside. The jump won't be there to Benny. Too much distance was gained. But it looks like they will pursue, and Dominate is going to push him on a lane.
Huge, huge for XDG right there. Now Quasa is under fire.
Oh, the squishy Karthus could go. Oh, wow. That was the last 330 HP right there from the ultimate of Smithy. Good double team in the bottom lane.
Nice little turn of events for XDG. Not only did they get the successful bush gank, but they burned Dominate's ultimate there.
Zuna taking too many shots, and a great lockup there between Kopp and Dominate. Picking up another kill, and they're coming too easy right now. XDG needs to slow down a bit.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure how why Zuna got so ahead of himself right there. It was good to get them off the turret, but you could see Benny had no intention of going in on that one. That was all Zuna.
Gotta see that Dominate.
Oopsies.
I should say that Zuna should see that Dominate built the Lizard. He's going to be doing damage. He's not there to be a tank for his team right now.
All right, so let's talk about that last wind wall. That happens when you're trying to run away at the same time as block something with wind wall, and he was just a little bit too quick for himself. Already had his mouse over for running away with the right click. Also casts his wind wall wrong direction.
So after a bit of a stall in the first turrets dropping, we have another one going down in favor of Curse. About 3,000 gold in lead for them now.
Huge power spike though. Voidblade has completed that Hextech Gunblade that I talked about. So anywhere he could roam around and get the kill that we already saw him do solo on Mandatory Cloud. As you can see, even Man Cloud under the turret is scared.
He has to be. Being punished like that so early, that mistake, he's still building the static shiv. He has no magic resistance. Oh my word, and he's melting under the hands of Voyboy. Zekant comes in, but he can't even get the auto attack in for the assist.
Yeah, so let's go over exactly how Voyboy pulled that off. Throws out the Q just to proc the shield of Yasuo since he had full flow, takes off the entire shield, and waits around just outside of the tower aggro at the minion wave. And as soon as the flow is all gone, shield is out, he goes in with a charge. His proc was still on there too. The Mark of the Assassin was still active, so it was an easy execution.
Wow, XDG just made a call or something. 4 pink wards in their inventory. They are really trying to regain back here. They want the next dragon. They want the next objective, and it has to be in their favor. They're falling quite far behind for 13 minutes in the game.
Curse definitely a team that really loves the snowballing compositions, and with them getting those 2 early kills on Voyboy, you know, maybe it was a misstep by Zuna trying to go in immediately with his Assault and Battery, but they were trying to answer the kill. Like, they didn't want Voyboy to get away with that free kill on Demand Cloud. It just happened that Voyboy also had backup, and they turned it into an even worse situation.
And that's what I didn't even just think about. Voyboy on Akali. 4 pink wards. There you go. It's not for Dragon.
Okay.
It's for Akali. So these guys are ready to blow him up instantly. 6-2 is the score. He has 3 of them right now and dominate the other one, doing exactly what it needs to on aggressive early jungler. Coming up with the other 2, and he's going to do it again. Zken with the initiation doesn't even, no, he did flash in for that. Voyboy picks up another one. Can it be a double kill? And it looks like with the turret aggro, they're forced to back off.
Yeah, they did start up the fight a little bit early, so Dominate didn't tank the tower turret with his passive.
God.
But man, Voyboy's on the hunt again. Mandatory Cloud's got to run for his life.
They fought so...
Oh, he's fighting him!
Oh, he went in big!
He got it!
Got it! Damage on 300 HP, but it's Dominate over the wall with the Agency Ignite! Will stop, and it does not take him down! He vamps enough health back with the Gunblade. It still continues, though. Zken finds him in a sore spot, and XDG is going to capitalize on that. Here comes Quads from the outside. The Vault Breaker easily able to get X. Oh no, Zuna. Zuna's gonna dodge the Skittles. One last one. Don't run in between the turret. You want to be able to run in the open. And he actually kills himself.
Play after play from Curse here. That was almost a nice job by Mandatory Cloud outplaying Voyboy. The pink ward that you pointed out earlier. Yep. He was throwing that down to try and get the kill, but the Dominate over the wall comes in with the stun and does end up saving Voyboy. Let's see. I want to see if that last auto attack onto the ward was actually the lifesteal that he needed, or if he was going to get it anyway. So Dominate, like we talked about, the flash in with the stun. Does this auto attack on the ward? Oh no, it's already gone. So the ignite was already gone. That was just for style, but it was the right idea.
Yep. Whoa. Wow, forcing the flash on Xmithy. They're not even letting them get inches away from the turret right now. And XDG needs to use those turrets as pretty much a sixth champion on the team. Getting dove, Zken using the flash initiation there, so it does kind of put Curse back on their initiation, but they're not afraid to go in with just Voyboy right now.
Oh, again.
Dominate, oh my gosh, the wombo combo from the sky, and even Quaz wants a piece. A little late on that one again, and he doesn't get the assist.
This Curse team is building all damage here. You know, they are not looking for tanks. They're looking for getting those kills because they can initiate so deep, having Dominate Pantheon ultimate in. They are just trying to burst someone down and then get out. They finally turn their kills into an objective, though, which has been the downfall of these sort of comps. You know, yes, they can get a whole bunch of kills and they can chain a bunch of kills with the assassins, but really usually the problem for these is that getting those objectives after the kills.
Right.
So it was a really great job by Curse right there, burning down the dragon first, got the objective out of the way, and then also that drew XDG away from the turrets, allowing the ultimate spam there to come in for another kill.
It's the element of surprise. They're using it completely to their advantage. Most comps right now are walk up, 5v5, look at each other, and then somebody mistakes and initiates. These are completely taking XDG off guard.
If you don't have a main tank, then that's what you rely on, is surprise, because you're not going to have anybody to actually soak the damage, so you need to get first strike.
Oh dear, and they're still just going under the turret. The Rocket not even doing that much damage, but they are going to try to reinitiate. They pursue on to Dominate, get the shutdown there. Voyboy is having a tit for tat in the bottom lane with ManCloud, and he gets an easy kill on that one for himself. 6-0-2. He is off the wall right now.
Voyboy's just going to run wild over this game now. They have to use CC on him. Plus, they're going to have to continually buy those pink wards. They only have one sweeper right now. Voyboy, this is the solo kill. Yes, wind wall, not going to do that much because
and the flash.
He keeps on getting over. And that ward was
his first
already
ward.
prepped there. Just, there was nowhere for Mandatory Cloud to go, and Voyboy just chased him down.
A game of where Curse is thinking 3 steps ahead at all points in time. 11-4 right now. They have found a 5,000 gold lead coming in here just under 19 minutes. And it's definitively been champion kills, and they're slowly, like you said, starting to find the objectives, which is really snowballing their team into what they have now.
And now that they have gotten the outer turrets down, they can make use of the massive mobility advantage that they have. They are the ones with the fed assassin on their team. So XDG have to play so safe, they can barely rotate between their secondary turrets. They have to sort of move as a group, move very slow, ward up a lot, because Voyboy can pick anyone off that he wants, literally anyone. Plus, they have the 2 globals of Karthus and Pantheon. So this sort of composition that Curse has is very, very strong if they get ahead early and then get into this late game. But it takes a lot of confidence to run this comp because the early game is really where you have to make the plays. And if you fail early, then it's going to be very hard to come back.
You know, like you said, they're playing the composition really well, but they're also using it against XDG. They focus Man Cloud, the one with the most kills in the LCS split last year. He's 0-5-0, and you can see it's actually hurting the entire team.
Yeah, definitely. The early gank there, Pantheon coming in, getting the 2 kills onto Voyboy, and getting him to this stage was a really good decision.
Take out the high killer. See if he can get the rest of the team to follow behind him. We'll see what they can do. Quas or not Quas, rather.
Yeah, let's talk about Quas. I mean, he's sort of the unsung hero. He's been just cleaning up all the minions on the other side of the map. We haven't looked at him much because it wasn't not very flashy play. Karthus is not a flashy champion. That's exactly what he's supposed to do, is grab up the minions on the side lanes that he can. He successfully defended the secondary turret, and he just adds the extra damage that Curse needs to pull off these combos that they have with the assassins.
Like I said earlier, it's like it wasn't very described well, but as a chaos tank, he's going to just get in there and run around, hit on Zhonya's. They haven't even seen that in the fight, and they're winning 4v5s right now, so it's going to be even more troublesome for XDG once that approaches.
Yeah, you know, going with the early Rod of Ages, it's almost fully stacked up right now. You have to wait 10 minutes before you hit your full power spike, but he's fine with waiting because we already discussed he's sort of the cleanup man of this team, and going into Zhonya's next means that he will be able to get in the middle, like you just talked about.
Seeing if there's anything interesting in the inventories, and everybody's going quite orthodox in the builds. That static shift just hit him, but he didn't quite see it. Oh, Man Cloud! He throws down the wall, but he gets kicked through it. Kicked right through his own win.
Voyboy is just unstoppable in a 1v1 situation right now.
This reminds me of Voyboy Olaf. Remember last season? Oh my word.
This is a new chant.
Yeah, that's a new chant.
We haven't heard that one before. He definitely deserves it, though.
Oh my, you're kidding me. The starter, how long has it been since we saw somebody start fights with the Caitlyn ultimate instead of end them? Pop's trying to go 1v1, he walks into the zap, and then he flashes it. He baited out the rocket. Voyboy on the other side of a fight near the turret, but they don't pursue.
Now that's something that a lot of AD carries actually talk about a lot on Jinx, is that the animation for her ultimate is pretty predictable. If you play a lot of AD carry, then you're easily going to be able to flash that one. Cop knew that was coming. Very good job by him, though, executing the flash. You have to say again, though, that was exactly what I'm talking about. There's nowhere for them to run.
Oh, Voyboy getting a little too sure of himself, and it looks like they're going to try to take him down, but it's Man Cloud first. Somehow it goes the other way. They do finally find Voyboy. The power spike is gone from Curse, and they are forced to back off. Benny's not going to go too far.
And they actually wasted one of their pink wards there, too. Even though they're already under turret, this gut reaction. Oh, my God, we need to kill Akali. I'm dropping a pink ward, just in case. But turrets still do give that vision.
Good guy, turrets.
Anyway, the whole reason that last fight started out was because there's so little options for XDG as far as map movement is concerned.
Yeah, force it.
Like I talked about this, whenever you're facing a fed assassin, you have to have wards no matter where you're going. Plus, you're probably going to have to move as a group to be able to avoid that 1v1 situation. And they just were a little bit further out in the lane, got caught by the global ultimates, which is easily capitalized on by Voyboy. They're able to sneak the Dragon, though. That's a nice little consolation prize after Curse get their kills and return to base. Good rotation there from XDG. They go for it. You have to take the little chances right now when you are this far behind.
The build really working in the favor of Curse right now as they bring out 2 Zhonyas. It's just going to get more hectic for XDG in these fights to get somebody to focus. And you already got people falling out of the sky. You got people flying in, kicking you in the throat. So we'll see.
You got Karthus with just laser beams. He's not even near you.
God.
Death Star's coming down on you.
It's going to be tough. XDG definitely has their work cut out for them in this game. And it is going to be a long one if they are able to pull it back in their favor. If they can get 20 minutes under their belt and get some items, that is mostly power, like you said. Curse is starting to filter in some armor items, but the power could hurt them if that's what they build only.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty rough for XDG. Like we talked about in the beginning, you know, they've got the melee heavy comp that wants to brawl, but it's so hard for that sort of team to brawl a Karthus. Karthus last pick, we talked about it being so rare of a pick, but it works really well against these guys because he doesn't have to run into middle team. They're going to jump on him.
Oh, they're going to jump right onto Bloodwater next Smithy. They get him again. Smithy's the one, but he gets Solar Flare. That's everything is being used in defense for XDG. They haven't been on the offensive side of much this game. Another one coming up for Voyboy. Does he have the last? Oh my gosh, the heal coming in. Very, very nice.
Oh, the Death Star, no!
You can only do so much.
Now, it goes without saying that Akali is one of the best champions at following up on initiations, and Dominate being able to initiate from half a screen away, just way too hard there for XDG to deal with.
Curse looking really great as they come into this matchup, taking down the inhibitor in the mid lane. Whoa, Voyboy says, I'm still going in, gentlemen. Zuna takes a bit of damage there, but he knows what he can do at least to the jungler right now. And as XDG itemizes, it's just looking grimmer and grimmer.
It's very hard for them because they need a lot of magic resist since there's a AoE Karthus that they're going to have to deal with and the AP Assassin in Akali that got super fed, but he just talked about it.
Seeing if there's anything interesting in the inventories, and everybody's going quite orthodox in the builds. That static shift just hit him, but he didn't quite see it. Oh, man, Cloud! He throws down the wall, but he gets kicked through it. Kicked right through his own win.
Voyboy is just unstoppable in a 1v1 situation right now.
This reminds me of Voyboy Olaf. Remember last season? Oh my lord.
This is a new chant.
Yeah, that's a new chant.
We haven't heard that one before. He definitely deserves it though.
Oh my, you're kidding me. The starter, how long has it been since we saw somebody start fights with the Caitlyn ultimate instead of end them? Pop's trying to go 1v1, he walks into the zap, and then he flashes it. He baited out the rocket. Voyboy on the other side of a fight near the turret, but they don't pursue.
Now that's something that a lot of AD carries actually talk about a lot on Jinx, is that the animation for her ultimate is pretty predictable. If you play a lot of AD carry, then you're easily going to be able to flash that one. Cop knew that was coming. Very good job by him, though, executing the flash. You have to say again, though, that was exactly what I'm talking about. There's nowhere for them to run.
Oh, Voyboy getting a little too sure of himself, and it looks like they're going to try to take him down, but it's ManCloud first. Somehow it goes the other way. They do finally find Voyboy. The power spike is gone from Curse, and they are forced to back off. Benny's not going to go too far.
And they actually wasted one of their pink wards there, too. Even though they're already under turret,
right?
Wanted this gut reaction. Oh, my God, we need to kill Akali. I'm dropping a pink ward, just in case. But turrets still do give that vision.
Good guy, turrets.
Anyway, the whole reason that last fight started out was because there's so little options for XDG as far as map movement is concerned.
Gonna force it.
Like I talked about this, whenever you're facing a fed assassin, you have to have wards no matter where you're going. Plus, you're probably going to have to move as a group to be able to avoid that 1v1 situation. And they just were a little bit further out in the lane, got caught by the global ultimates, which is easily capitalized on by Voyboy. They're able to sneak the Dragon, though. That's a nice little consolation prize after Curse get their kills and return to base. Good rotation there from XDG. They go for it. You have to take the little chances right now when you are this far behind.
The build really working in the favor of Curse right now as they bring out two Zanyas. It's just going to get more hectic for XDG in these fights to get somebody to focus. And you already got people falling out of the sky. You got people flying in, kicking you in the throat. So we'll see.
And you got Karthus with just laser beams. He's not even near you.
God.
Death Star's coming down on you.
It's going to be tough. XDG definitely has their work cut out for them in this game. And it is going to be a long one if they are able to pull it back in their favor. If they can get 20 minutes under their belt and get some items, that is mostly power, like you said. Curse is starting to filter in some armor items, but the power could hurt them if that's what they build only.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty rough for XDG. Like we talked about in the beginning, you know, they've got the melee heavy comp that wants to brawl, but it's so hard for that sort of team to brawl a Karthus. Karthus last pick, we talked about it being so rare of a pick, but it works really well against these guys because he doesn't have to run into middle team. They're going to jump on him.
Oh, they're going to jump right onto Bloodwater next Smithy. They get him again. Smithy's the one, but he gets Solar Flare. That's everything is being used in defense for XDG. They haven't been on the offensive side of much this game. Another one coming up for Voyboy. Does he have the last? Oh my gosh, the heal coming in. Very, very nice.
Oh, the Death Star, no!
You can only do so much.
Now, it goes without saying that Akali is one of the best champions at following up on initiations, and Dominate being able to initiate from half a screen away, just way too hard there for XDG to deal with.
Curse looking really great as they come into this matchup, taking down the inhibitor in the mid lane. Whoa, Boy says, I'm still going in, gentlemen. Zuna takes a bit of damage there, but he knows what he can do at least to the jungler right now. As XDG itemizes, it's just looking grimmer and grimmer.
It's very hard for them because they need a lot of magic resist, since there's a AoE Karthus that they're going to have to deal with, and an AP Assassin in Akali that got super fed, but that doesn't mean you can forget about a full, well, it's not full attack damage anymore, he's got that Randuin's, but the Pantheon does a massive amount of AD, and then the Caitlyn's going to be firing from the backline. So they have to worry about all sources of damage. They can't itemize a single way, and this Baron is going down so fast.
Kobe, this is a great place to call back that it is Dominate versus Zuna in our featured matchup, and it actually goes to Quaz anyways. Steals it down with a Defile and some Skittles, and it looks like they are going to be able to run amok on this fight. He gets Baron, then he picks up Bloodwater. Is he going to stay alive? A great kill coming in from McSmithy, and ManCloud's able to pick up one. Still going, Quas very hurt. Dominate looks to go down, but Cop is alive. Cop is full 100% HP. The shots go down onto ManCloud, and he is gone. Zuna tries to get away from the wall, but he's already slowed. A great wall by Quas to accelerate that kill for Cop.
Such a beautiful play right there. I just want to say how fun it is to play an AD carry when you have four other damage threats on your team. All right, so they try and combo. It was a really nice attempt to combo that.
Yes.
And it did so much damage that Dominate didn't even use his smite. So that's the reason that Quas had to pick this one up. But as we see, Zuna goes in for the combo onto Voyboy. They drop the pink ward down and they get him. Cop now.
Whoa.
It's Cop's time to shine. He's able to kill Zuna, or Smithy now, all the way through his barrier with that ace in the hole, and then he can just clean up the fight here. It's really fun to play an AD carry when you have all these other threats on your team because your opponents are running away. It's one of the few times that the opponents are not diving towards you as an AD carry, and Caitlyn is one of the best AD carries at just sitting there and auto-attacking over and over
Feels
for the
good.
entire team fight.
Good quality of life, AA. Feels nice when you're hitting.
So this is really the story of a good defense is a good offense. The best defense is a good offense.
Wow.
Maybe.
Maybe.
It's pretty good. It's a pretty good offense.
He's still 5-0-7. He hasn't gone back after that. So we'll see how much money he has. 2 static shivs coming out on the side of XDG as they're really focused on the wave clear. I'm focused on getting themselves back into position, into vision in this game. Right now they're warding a bit, but they're still trying to keep the pink wards, which is getting to be quite a big sink of money if you're just trying to fight Akali every time.
And they have been very, very sort of loose with their pink ward drops, as we talked about. Every time they get a Shroud down, they're dropping a pink ward, even if they're by a turret or something. So the cost is definitely stacking up. And every single person on this Curse team is a playmaker. They're all threats here. So there's so much going on in these team fights. You can't even focus on one damage source because they're all making the plays.
The follow-up initiation we've seen is just incredible for Curse right now. An ace in the hole to start it, or, Grand Skyfall begins to be started before ace in the hole starts, or it's Quaz to start it off. They have so many options, and they've used every one of them. They're staying unpredictable, and XDG, we saw it last time. They tried to get Voyboy under the turret, and it was just kind of like a panic attack. They had to do it.
Right. It takes a lot of confidence and a lot of coordination to run this kind of team.
Yeah.
But they're pulling it off really well because of that great early start.
Dominate was able to get that early kill onto ManCloud. He was 0-5-0 at one point this game, and that was when Voyboy was really getting fed. You have to remember the double kill that came for him around 8 minutes, and Curse was able to work with that completely. Quaz in the top lane, as we said, wasn't doing much up until now. He's been farming, but he is the unsung hero. He's keeping everything pushed so the team can do the rest of it.
Trying to add that damage.
Yeah.
So with the inhibitor turret being down, it makes it that much more easy for this Curse team to grab the objective, easily go for that inhibitor, and then pull back because they don't want to lose anyone. Everyone going damage, the drawback is that if anyone gets caught out, they can get killed really quickly. So Curse have to stay as a cohesive unit. If somebody gets caught out due to lack of vision in the jungle, then they will go down very fast. Talking about lack of vision, though, 4 pink wards down. Who's the member of Curse here who didn't buy a pink ward? One of you guys is slacking off. There's 4 of them down. Everybody gets 1. We'll have to ask them after the game. Who was the slacker?
That'll be partially the interview. Is there one we're missing? I feel like there's one we're missing. Nope, we're not. You're right. There's 4. XDG huddled inside their base right now. There's really not much else they can do. Really waiting for Curse to make a mistake on this run. But with the confidence they have been coming into this game, with the mistakes they actually can make in a fight, they can afford to make mistakes, and they'll probably still come out on top, which makes it that much harder.
I'm wondering if they actually would go for a tower dive. My first instinct is no, because we talked about they're all fairly squishy. But Dominate can tank, you know, 2 turret shots with his passive. One with the one that's already active, and then one with the W reset passive. 2 turret shots, though, is not very long. It might be enough time for this team to get a bunch of kills, though, because they have so much damage.
I like the way they're trading off one per. I think Voidboy is just going to play it differently than Zkent just did, but they're keeping Annie out of the picture. You only see 3, and you see Karthus in the bottom lane.
Yeah.
Now they've kind of switched it up, but they're really mind gaming.
They just have so many tools. A teleport Karthus, usually a split push Karthus would be okay in this situation anyway, because he can add his ult damage, but he also has teleport, so he could join the fight even after that. And when you get this far ahead and you have the advantage as far as globals are concerned for split pushing, it's so easy just to finish off the game by having that teleport split push the side lane while your Caitlyn sieges up, and they're getting damage onto both turrets here. Even the inhibitor turret, same time as Quas is taking out bottom.
Slowly taking bottom.
Very slowly.
Slowly crushing down on it. He does miss the Vault Breaker, but the Assault and Battery comes in just after a great block by Dominate. Not that he meant to on the Rocket, but it saves the team some HP. They get back onto Cop. This is the fight that XDG wanted. Quaz has teleported into the back already. ManCloud low. He takes the spear from Dominate. Deja vu from the first blood, and it looks like they will continue under the turret. Voyboy, you can see how far ahead he is right now. That level 16 is what's keeping him alive in these fights. And also giving him the kills. The Requiem finally comes down for the double kill, and Quas from the grave picks himself up a few.
Exactly what you have to do when you're being split pushed like this is go for the hard engage. Thankfully, XDG have Vi. So Zuna goes for the open ultimate onto Cop, and they get him in the back line just barely with Mandatory Cloud following this up. So he did miss the Vault Breaker there onto Pantheon, but it didn't matter because he was going to 4 Cop that entire time. And Mandatory Cloud, unlimited dashes on Yasuo, was able to follow it up, and they're able to finally take him down, but Dominate in the background, also able to finish up Zuna because Zekant does not leave him. And, ooh, nice little teleport in front of him. Does it drop right? No, not nice hit. Close enough, though. Quas already died because they went for that turret dive.
Yep.
I was wondering if they were going to actually pull the trigger on that or not. They actually did, you know, split tower dive there, so he ended up going down under the turret, but still can cast his ultimate from death because of the passive. And
you can kind of tell from that fight, we said it just a little bit ago, Kobe, is that XDG is almost pressuring themselves into these fights. They had to go quite far out of their base to get that one in.
And that's exactly what they have to do, though.
Yeah.
First knows that they're looking for the hard engage, so they're trying to kite back as much as possible. You can see copies everything. Got, you know, halfway down that top lane before he was caught. And this time around, all that vision that was afforded from those 4 pink wards that Curse bought means that they have so much confidence grabbing that Baron.
Does go for the smite to Dominate this time in that featured matchup of the jungle.
One more hit, man! One more hit! They're so scared because of these pink wards, they don't have vision in their own jungle. I guess he didn't even want to turn around for the last hit on it.
It's been too much. They have to play it super careful. XDG really can't give up too much more. The next fight really means all of your structures, all the way down to the Nexus. So they are playing with hard hats on right now. Benny controlling the mid lane. Everybody's actually getting a chance to back right now. Finally, their lanes are not knocking on the front door.
All right, so take a breather now. This full damage team that Curse had started out has had a chance to get so much money that now they're starting to build some defensive items too. So they're not even going to be all the super squishy targets. Double Randuins and GA coming out, plus Quas has the Zanyas. So pretty much all of these threats have their defensive item ready. This last push is probably going to be the end of XDG right here, because a Baroned up team with all the answers that they need right now, it's going to have to be a pretty big fluke or mess up or throw or whatever kind of term you want to use for them to not get this inhibitor.
You've been right about the damage build the whole time. The focus of not having Boots 2 yet for both Quaz and Dominate, kind of going into the damage build for them and pure core items. Coming on to the inhibitor right now, 34 minutes into the game. 24-11 is the score, and 7-2 in turrets. And that 10,000 gold lead is really starting to take against XDG. It's becoming full core items in the hands of Curse, and these fights are showing it. They're on top right now.
Now, I'm really wondering if they're going to wait a full minute for that teleport to come back up for Quas so they can execute the split push again, or if they're going to try and push in, make use of the last bit of the Baron buff, because Baron buff will be getting close to timing out by the time Quas' teleports back up. Looks like they will just do the group. They want to make use of that Baron buff. It adds a lot of damage. It's actually, Akali is one of the best champions in the game to have Baron buff on because she benefits from both the AD and the ability power. Her power just shoots through the roof with that thing on.
Good old hybrid, and we've been seeing it shoot through the roof here. Voyboy able to bring in what I thought was actually going to be a Rylai's as he bought that Giant's Belt and Tome, but he brings it into a Randuin's to keep himself in and out of these fights, seeing the pink wardage coming out from XDG.
Really do like that wave clear as well. With the Jinx, her rockets, plus the... Okay, they're going for the dive.
It doesn't matter what's there. The turret is not in the eyes of Curse. It's going to be ManCloud that goes down, but the GA has been popped. He's going to be back up. Quas is in a great spot on the fight, and the health bars of XDG are completely shredding. The double kill. Is it the triple kill coming in? It is. Voyboy goes hard. 11, 3, and 11. You can see Dominate just reeling in happiness right now, and they are going to be going for the Nexus turrets. Curse looks to make it 2-0 in the spring split.
Voyboy ends the game 11, 3, and 11 on one of his favorite champions, Akali, and you can tell they're satisfied with the play.
I think definitely gained a few more fans today and bolstered the ones that he had. Voyboy playing an exceptional game on Akali, and you cannot forget Dominate. He set up that first kill, gave Voyboy that first assist, and then both of them really went to town this game. Fantastic play by mid and jungle. Dominate, who was our featured matchup with Zuna.
Dominate definitely came out ahead in that matchup. Zuna was always looking to answer for the chaos that Dominate created. He was definitely always sort of a step behind, trying to answer the Pantheon moves with Vi, and you just can't do that because Pantheon comes in with so much front-loaded damage. Somebody was already dead by the time that Zuna would get there, and then they would just turn it back around on him with the extra man advantage. It was just a really well-played Pantheon game there. All of Curse, though, like I talked about in the game, they're all making plays.
Yeah.
It was just so many different threats coming at XDG. They didn't really know how to react.
So what are you supposed to do when you now see these champions being picked up? All the comfort champions are coming in. There's so much variation. Let's say you're going into a fresh game. How do you approach picks and bans?
I think, the picks and bans wasn't that big of a deal because this Curse team is so versatile. They easily could play like something standard.
That's true.
And this comp isn't like an overpowered comp. You really have to have the confidence and the communication to pull that off. What they needed to do was make a few more early moves for XDG, because if you can get these sort of frail champions that turn into beast late game, if you can get them behind early, then it becomes such an easy road for you to just sort of start rolling down towers and taking all the objectives because your team fight is stronger. But if you're not able to sort of attack that Pantheon in the jungle early and keep that Akali down, keep her from snowballing, then it just gets out of control.
A lot of champion select has been won by giving a team choices they kind of tunnel in on, and that's exactly what you want to give them. It was a little bit of with Zuna getting his champions. Olaf, they banned out Olaf, and they said, let's see if he's good on this next jumping champion. And then you do that to ManCloud, and you're like, he's going to be good on it, so we need to focus it. And they did. So it's like they tunnel it into exactly what they want. It's been working a lot this week.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like XDG had a bad combo there.
Right.
Vi plus Yasuo is a first double pick that a lot of teams would take right now, especially in North America. That is one of the favored combos. It's just that Curse got the first kill there on that mid lane, and by the time Zuna came in with his first ultimate, Yasuo was already dead, so they weren't able to pick anything up.
All right, as we're moving on, we got to take a quick break, but we are just getting warmed up. When we come back, CLG hopes to bring Cloud9 back down to earth in our second game of the day. Don't go anywhere.
No, it's not. Bye, Prod, took it.
Giovanna's missing.
Go to Dragon. Yeah, there's 2 minutes. Let's help him.
Yeah, we're coming.
Yep, we're coming.
Exhausting him.
Okay.
Kill him.
Nice.
I'm on Benny.
Can
you hit this dude?
Drag.
Drag. Good job.
That's good, baby. That's what we do.
That's the boy.
I'm moving.
Ward here.
Kill Jinx. She has no flash or barrier. No barrier flash.
I got her.
We're coming.
I'm on Blood R.
I just want to push off this. Can you start pushing up mid-wave, somebody?
Might have ulti.
Guess who's bot?
I got him. Maybe. Nope.
I got him.
Nice, push it. I can use turrets to tank, but...
Yeah, use turrets to tank.
Boy, do it again.